Hi everyone, and welcome to our Touch Base Thursday on a Wednesday this week. Going live with you all a night early this week, and I'll tell you all why here in just a little bit. I'm going to give it a minute here to make sure I'm live with you all in the right spot, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you are joining me, please comment and tell me hello, and we will get started here in just a couple of minutes. So anyway, live with you all on a Wednesday. It always feels different for me. I actually feel like I lose a day or gain a day because then the next day feel like it's Friday when it's only Thursday because I'm gone live with you early. But anyway, as you're coming in, please comment and tell me hello. Hoping that I'll be able to get a good handful of you joining me tonight on a night earlier than we normally go live. Hello to Shireen and welcome. So yes, I am live with you all on Wednesday this week instead of Thursday, and I'm going to explain to you why here in just a couple minutes. Hi, Philomena. So our dance studio that my girls have been going to forever, here they all come in. Hello to Noreen and Courtney and Penny. Hi, ladies. But our dance studio that my girls have been going to for the last 3-4 years, the owner, her name is Andrea, and she actually choreographed the musical at CMU, and it's Kinky Boots. And so a lot of us are going to support our studio owner and go watch Kinky Boots, the musical. And I am gone this weekend to our Stampin' Up! Onstage event in Indianapolis. So the only night that I had that would work for me, and that worked with the girls' schedules to go and see Kinky Boots was tomorrow night. So we have tickets to go see Kinky Boots so that I can see it before I leave on Friday morning. And so that leads me into my next announcement that yes, I will be out of town Friday through Sunday. I'm driving with another handful of my demonstrators that are on my team, and we're heading to Indianapolis for the Stampin' Up! Onstage event. So we'll be able to see the new catalog that all of you will be able to get in your hands the middle of December. And if you've placed an order with me in the last year, you'll get one of those catalogs mailed directly to you. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to play with new product as well. So that is why I'm live with you all tonight, is that we are going to support our studio. And a lot of them are going tomorrow night as well to support Andrea Pernahaj is her name. If any of you know Andrea, she's a wonderful, wonderful gal, inspiration for all of our dancers that go to her studio. But yeah, so she choreographed it. So we're excited to go see it. So anyway, so that is why you guys have me live tonight, because I don't like to cancel. So anyway, a few other things I have in the way of announcements. Thank you, Courtney. I will. Hopefully we have a good time. I am not one that likes being in a car and traveling, but I'm not driving, but I just I don't know, big cities and I get kind of a little bit of anxiety. So I'm talking myself down that it's going to be just fine, but it's just not something I enjoy doing, but it's worth it to me to go to Onstage. So anyway, thank you all so very much. I'm sure I'll be posting pictures of the Onstage event, and I'll make sure that you guys see any of the things that we're able to share with you. I'll be sure to post some sneak peeks on my page and in my group as well. Okay, a few announcements. So this Sunday, most of you know that Claire is going to Europe in the summer, my daughter Claire. And today's her birthday. My daughter Claire's 15 today. So after she gets back from dance at 8:30, so after my live, we'll finally be able to do a little bit of birthday celebrating with her. She had dance tonight. So she's doing what she loves on her birthday. But anyway, this weekend, this Sunday, is her first performance, or her first rehearsal, I should say, at Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp for her summer experience. So she will be, my husband will be driving her there, and she's there all day on Sunday. She already has her music. She's been practicing for this. So she has her first rehearsal this coming Sunday, and then she has another one in April, and then a weekend event in May, and then a week that she'll be at Blue Lake Camp before they leave for Europe. So anyway, she's excited and anxious to meet some of the people that she'll be traveling with this coming Sunday. So it will be a fun weekend for her, I think. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention for announcements is that Let me see here. I talked about Claire's birthday, so yay, happy birthday to her. I know. She wasn't due till the end of November, but none of my kids went full term, so she was born early. And then this last weekend, I got to share my experience with you from last weekend. So I went to a baby shower over in the Thumb area of Michigan, which is where I'm from. And the Thumb area is right along one of our Great Lakes, Lake Huron. And it has been very, very dry for them. They have not had rain like we have had here in central Michigan. And on the way home, it was dark out. And the first half of the drive, you would have thought we were driving. Luckily, my husband was driving, but you'd have thought we were driving in a blizzard. But it was just like a dust storm. It was horrible, so windy. Anyway, once we hit the halfway mark, which is a town called Bay City, it got better because we had rain there, but it was a pretty dicey trip there for a little while. Very windy. Our car was going all over the place. I've never ever seen anything quite like that. So that was kind of a whoa moment for us. Okay, you guys know if you share my video, you get into the drawing for some fun prizes. And so please feel free to share. You sharing my video lets your other stamping friends that you're friends with know about me, to be able to watch my videos, get inspiration, and all that fun stuff. So up for grabs from last week, I had two prizes. One is the Pale Papaya ribbon, and the other one is the Effervescent Elements. Now these are great for shaker cards. Can you hear that? Woohoo! Shaker cards. All right. So anyway, our winners of the Pale Papaya ribbon is Bonnie Kaiser, which is my sister. So congratulations to Bonnie. I don't think she's won in quite a while. And then the winner of the Effervescent Elements is Kay Warrior. And Kay, I'm hoping I'm saying your last name right. I'm not sure if I have your mailing address, so if you're watching live or on the replay, please message me in the next week to be able to get your prize sent to you, okay? Because otherwise, I can't get it to you. All right, I'm writing that name on there. All right, up for grabs this week, we have 2 bolts of ribbon. And this is ribbon that I haven't used on a single project yet, and it's so pretty. So I found that I had 3 bolts of it, and so now I'm inspired to try to create something with this. It is the rose gold and white ribbon. It's gorgeous, and I like pink. Like, can't believe I haven't used it yet. And then the other one is the Early Espresso ribbon. Okay, so next week we will draw 2 lucky winners, and those will get sent out to you. And you always get a card in the mail whenever we do our prizes. You never get a package without a card in it, so you'll also get a card in the mail. Okay, classes for the month of November. My first 3 classes have opened up officially as of today. If you've joined my mailing list, you would have gotten an email. If you haven't joined my mailing list, pop over to my website at kimsbasementbunch.com, and there's a button right there for you to join my mailing list. You'll get all my class information, all my promotions, all kinds of Stampin' Up! Updates and things along the way. So I have the class that you're seeing me present tonight. My barn card class is open. And then you're going to hear me talk about an additional class that I'm going to be opening up with a beautiful framed art piece you're going to be seeing tonight. Now we have the Snowflake Vellum cards available, and my Wash with Beauty cards available. I have 2 additional gnome classes that will be opening up later this week. I just got to shoot them over to Delaney, who does all of my marketing for me. But my gnome album, I have a 24-page gnome scrapbook album that is 6x8. It's gorgeous. The cost of that is $83, and that includes it shipped to you, okay? Because shipping is horrible, as you guys know. But it includes the album, the page protectors, the snowflakes you're going to use on the album, a pack of these gems you're going to use on the album, and 24 pages is almost a whole pack of cardstock. And I almost used a whole pack of the Gnome Designer Series paper. So that is why it brings that price up a little bit. But it would make a great gift to give somebody to document their Christmas or anything like that in it. So that class will be opening this week, and then I'm calling it Gnomes 2.0. I have a second gnome card class that I designed. A lot of you liked my first class, so I designed a second one using the gnomes. So those 2 are going to be opening up here soon. I also have a 8x8 gnome framed art class that's going to be opening. So I have lots of gnomey things for all of you who like the gnomes. The other thing that opened up today is my adhesive bundles. I always offer adhesive bundles for sale at the holiday time. Now I package them up really cute. I should have brought my one over here, but I can't quite reach it. But I package up my adhesive bundles into a cute little bag. And it is gorgeous, the bag that I have. Thank you, Natalie. Sorry, my daughter brought it over to me. Okay, anyway, so this, she's down here studying. So this is the cute little adhesive bag that I found for this year. And the adhesive, I'm going to be making a cute little tag for it yet. I don't have a tag made yet because I literally just threw this together today to get a picture posted and get it promoted. But my adhesive bundles include glue dots, the Tombow glue. It includes either, this one has the seal and then a seal refill in it, and then a package of dimensionals. My other option this year, I kept it simple and just did 2 this year. My other bundle includes the Seal Plus and the Seal Refill. So the only difference is whether you like which of the seals adhesives that you like. The package of dimensionals is free in every single one of these kits. Okay, so that is what makes my bundles kind of attractive, is that you're getting all this adhesive. If you want the seal, the regular seal, it's $32 and that includes shipping. If you want the Seal Plus, it is $39. That includes shipping. These make great gifts for all your crafting friends. I actually give one of these to my sister every year at Christmas time, and she never ever has said that she doesn't like it, because who can't use adhesive, right? But literally the dimensionals are for free. So you're saving by buying it as a bundle, and you're getting all the cute packaging all done up for you as well. And we'll have a cute little tag on here with a snowflake on it and all of that. I just didn't get that far yet. But anyway, wanted to let you guys know these are open for purchase through like December 14th. They'll start shipping after right after Thanksgiving. So if you do Christmas early, you'll be able to have them. So that is also something that I know has been a big hit with a lot of you that I do every year at the holiday time. Okay, so with that, let me see if I've covered everything on my notes here. Let me just kind of go through these. We did the sharing. I talked about my classes opening up, my gnome stuff, my adhesive bundles. Also wanted to let you guys know to be on the lookout for an email coming out from me in the next week or so. I am going to be celebrating my 12th anniversary with Stampin' Up! The end of this month. And the end of this month is also Thanksgiving. I think it's actually on Thanksgiving. Thank you, Philomena. I think that's a great price too. But my anniversary with Stampin' Up! Is the end of this month, and I'll be offering a special ordering promotion as we celebrate my anniversary with the amazing company that I can't imagine ever not being a part of. So be on the lookout for that. And then I want to make sure you guys all see that my card sketch has posted for November. I would love to have more of you participate in that. It's so fun. It's so easy. You just look at my sketch, you create a card, you post it, and then usually I have, sometimes it's my boss, sometimes it's my mom, sometimes it's my husband, but somebody looks at them all and picks one that they like the best, and that is the winner. So encourage more of you to take advantage of that. It's kind of a fun thing to do, and it keeps you busy during the winter months, and although I do it all year round, but I know more of you might have more time on your hands when you're in the house more during the fall and winter. Okay, so with that, I'm going to transition my camera down to my stamp area and share with you guys the beautiful Christmas barn bundle. I love the barn bundle. Thank you, Gail. It's gone fast. I mean, my girls have grown up with me doing this. I don't think they remember life without Stampin' Up! In it. And it means the world to me when they say, I want to do a thank you card, or I want to send so-and-so a card for X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of nice that they get it. You know, they totally get it. So this Christmas barn bundle sells for $46.25. And this bundle has been near and dear to my heart, and most of you know I grew up on a small dairy farm, and so I love this bundle. So I created cards with this bundle, and literally at about 10 to 6 tonight, I decided to create an 8x8 framed art as well. It turned out so beautiful that I decided to offer it as a class. If you're local to the Mount Pleasant area, that class will be on December 7th here in my basement. The cost of the class is $28, but when you see it, you're going to definitely want to take the class. If you live long distance, I will also offer it to you for the same price, $28. I'll give free shipping for the holidays because it won't cost me a lot to ship it. It's just some paper and stuff. But you will need this bundle to do the framed art, okay? There's lots of stamping on the framed art and stuff. And so, you know, we're not allowed to send projects with stamped images in it. It's Stampin' Up! Policy. So you will need this bundle, and I'll also provide the link to this bundle in my class. So in case any of you need to purchase it, you can do it as an add-on to the class. And then the final thing you'll need to purchase is an 8x8 album. The 8x8 album that I used, I got it at Michael's. But it's not cost effective for me to, those of you local coming, I'll have the frames. But for any of you that want the class long distance, I'll provide an ordering link for you to buy the frame because it's going to be cheaper for you to buy it directly from the company or Michael's than it is going to be for me to buy it, ship it here, and then try to package it up and ship it back to you. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think you're going to love what you're going to see and what I created. I actually picked two of my friends, Shireen and Kay, who love seeing sneak peeks of my projects. And like literally they can vouch for me. At 6:30, I said, hey, do you want to see a sneak peek of what I created for tonight? And they both said, of course. So anyway, the framed art you're going to be seeing is something I literally did right before I went live with you. And I love it so much that I needed to offer it as a class. So who's ready to see this awesome piece of art, right? I'm sure you are. So I'm just going to move moving my computer screen over so that I can see your comments. And then I'm going to transition my camera down and you're going to be able to see this beautiful piece that I've been talking about. And then I'm going to show you some of my card creations that I did using this great bundle. Okay, so here we go. Are you guys ready to see it? I got to move my computer screen back a little bit. Now that I moved it, I can see that all of you, you might see a little bit of a, oh, it's not bad. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit more glare, but I'll pick it up here in just a couple minutes and show you. See, they both are vouching for me that they got to see it ahead of time here. Okay, so there it is. So you're going to see a little sneak peek of my cards, but I'm going to move all them out of the way. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my this awesome framed art piece first. So I got to make sure that you guys can see it where it's not a glare. So anyway, this is the framed art piece. Now I do have a picture of it that I will post with it not in the frame, but I need to make sure you guys can kind of see it. Make sure that there, I think this is working pretty good right here. So this is an 8x8 frame, and I used a piece of this piece of red cardstock that you're seeing in there is actually the red designer papers from the Candy Cane Lane paper. And then I just did a lot of stamping. So you see why you would need the barn bundle to be able to do this. In the class, I also used Wink of Stella. You might not be able to see Wink of Stella on all of the trees and things, but the class fee would include a package of those star adhesive back stars and a Wink of Stella, and then you'd get all of the supplies, so you'd have all these pieces cut and stuff, and it includes a tutorial. Again, the cost is $28. If you're local to the Mount Pleasant area, I'll be doing this class here in my basement on December 7th, which is a thank you everyone, December 7th, which is a Wednesday night. And I'll offer it at two different times. I usually do 3:30 to 8, so I'll do the same thing. So it'll be 3:30 to 5:30 for the first group, or from 5:30 to like 8 or 6 to 8 for the second group. All right, so anyway, I had to share that with you. So that is my 3D project that I'm going to be, like I said, this will be a class, and I'll be posting this in the next day or two. But this was something that I literally whipped together just tonight. And I love it. It would make a great gift. My mom's going to be getting one of those actually for Christmas. Okay, so the barn bundle, I'm glad that you all liked it. So the barn bundle, it has this beautiful barn and the little horse and carriage, the fence, and you have all the different pieces that go in this as well to be able to cut those out. So all these dies will cut out all of these different pieces. And like I said, you could tell that on my framed art that is what I did. Thank you, Courtney. Yes, like I said, my mom's going to get one of these for Christmas, as is my sister. And I got to have one for myself because it just reminds me of the farm that we grew up on. So, and if you didn't want to put the Merry Christmas to you in it, to you and yours, you wouldn't have to. You could just leave it blank, and it could be something that you could almost leave up all year round if you really wanted to. Although this kind of makes it look a little Christmas themed. Okay, so anyway, that is your 3D project. And like I said, I'll be posting a picture of that. And it'll be available as a class if any of you are interested in purchasing that. Okay, so the first card that I'm going to be showcasing tonight is this one right here. Now, what I used on the cards tonight, I used the adhesive backed stars, and these are so fun, so fun. And then I used some blends. Now, the only 3 sets of blends that I used, actually the green I only used on my framed art. So the blends that I used are the, I don't know why I have 2 darks here, but I used the Crumb Cake and the Real Red, okay? So those are what I used for our coloring. And this card is really, really close to a case right from the catalog. Some of you might be saying, what in the world does she mean by a case? So case is copy and share everything. So it's kind of where you take something that somebody else created and you make it your own. And that is what I did with this card right here. So for this one, I used Garden Green for my card base. And this is 5.5 by 8.5. So that's my card base. And then I have a piece of the Garden Green that's 5.25 by 4. And then on this, you can see I stamped some of the trees behind it. Now that is just stamping think of the color here, Garden Green ink on the Garden Green cardstock, okay? And that I did put on with some dimensionals. So I may have to just use some mini dimensionals. I have to grab some big ones here in a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to use some of these minis, and I'm going to put those on there like that. Totally forgot that I used up all of my dimensionals when I designed that framed art for all of you. Okay, so this is going to go onto my card. I think I may have actually made the one on my sample 5 by 3 3/4, so it's a little bit smaller, but it'll work the same way. Okay, and then from here, I just kind of piecemealed putting things together. So here's your barn. Again, I stamped that and cut it out in advance to save a little bit of time. So this is just stamped with the Memento Black, and then use the die to cut this out. So you can kind of see, I'm just going to kind of put that where it belongs. And then one of the dies is to do a silo. So this is the silo that went behind the barn. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive along this edge. And I'm just going to adhere the silo right to the barn, like that, okay? And then this went down with some dimensionals as well. And Natalie got me some dimensionals. So I'm going to put these on my card. Ta-da, here we go. And then this is just going to go down here like this, right in the center. Now I did color the barn with the blends, and I'm not going to take the time to do all of the coloring on my Facebook Live tonight because you'd be here forever, I think, if I was to try to attempt to do that. But then I also have some trees that I cut out using the dies. So these are just stamped on, and then these are the ones that you're going to put on with some dimensionals. So I'm going to put this one on here like that. And I liked to use the red for most of my barns just because, you know, it made it look kind of cool. And I probably should have moved my barn up a little higher because it is higher on that one, but you get the idea. And then I have the other one here. So there's a die to cut out those trees. And you can see here on my framed art that I did some of them. Let me bring this back in real quick. I did some of them where I stamped just like these are, where it was the garden green on the garden green. And then this is garden green on basic white. I'm not sure if you can see that I also Wink-a-Stella the roof of the barn and all of those trees. And yeah, lots of stuff has Wink-a-Stella on it. I'm sure the video doesn't just kind of show you that too well. But it does, trust me. All right, and then this one's gonna go over here like that, okay? And then we have a die that cuts out a fence. So I just cut out one fence, and then what I did is I cut it in half, or actually kind of in half, but kind of not. So here you can see I cut this one right here. So this piece is gonna go here like that. Hope I put it down like that. And then this one, I cut off this little middle part. So that way I just had the other two that went on here. And that's where you're gonna use your liquid glue or your, I'm gonna use the Tombow glue. Hopefully it's not plugged on me. Let me see here. I think it might be trying to come out here. All right, I'm not gonna mess with it too much. So I'm just going to use a little bit of my seal here right in the middle. For my video, it'll work. And I'm just gonna put that down here. And then on the other one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I can always go back and fix it later, right? Okay. For purposes of video, it works in a pinch. Okay. And then, of course, imagine that that is all colored in red. So what I did with my red, to kind of give you an idea, is I colored with my light. Most of you know my coloring techniques. I colored with the light blend first, and so I just kind of colored all of this red. I did go around the windows and the door, okay, but I just colored this red. So I'm just going to color a little bit to kind of show you my blending technique. And then I went on top of it with some dark red in spots, okay? So with my dark red, I came back in and I just kind of went around the top part and kind of did some lines down. I didn't do that with all of it, so it's just in spots. You can kind of tell it in spots that it's got a little bit done. Again, if you add too much of the dark and you don't like it, you can always come back in with the color lifter and blend, and that will lift up some of that color, okay? So that is kind of the tip that I did for all of my coloring. Thank you, Anne. I'm glad you like this card. So that is some of the coloring that I did for all of that. Then what I did is I stamped the Merry Christmas to You using the Memento Black, and there's a die that cuts this out. Isn't that awesome? And then that went on the top with some little dimensionals, and for that I am going to use the minis because this is quite little, and I'm going to put 3 of them across here. Maybe it keeps moving on me. There we go. And that is going to go up here in the middle. Oops, get out of there. All right, whoops, then I have it crooked because that backing got in my way. All right, there we go. Now to top the card, can you see how it came to life with these adhesive back stars? I love these stars. It just makes for the perfect Christmas scene, I think. And you can add these wherever you want to add them. But for me, it just was perfect to add them all over the place. So you can add a lot. Like I said, I put my card down a little bit farther than I did on my sample. But again, you kind of get the gist of it. And then you're just going to color the barn with the red blend. And there's your first card. Isn't that gorgeous? So simple. And this is a case kind of sort of somewhat right from the catalog. I've been doing that occasionally on my Facebook Lives to kind of show you that it's okay to copy what they do in the catalog. That's what those samples are there for. All right, so my next card that I'm going to share with you is this one, I think. Got to make sure I'm grabbing the right piece. This one, here we go. Okay, this one right here. Now this one, I added the adorable little wreath to the top of the card. Isn't that gorgeous? Now this stamp set has many different sentiments. I found it a little bit hard to use the May Joy Fill Your Heart this season because it was just a bigger stamp, and when you add the barn to the card, it takes up so much space. So that would be a really good one to use in the center of your, or in the inside of your cards if you wanted to. That would also be a good one that you could have put on your framed art to fill up a little bit more space up here. But I wanted to kind of keep mine simple and have it be Merry Christmas to you and yours. And I had a couple of those cut out already from creating my cards. So it made it easy for me just to grab that one. Okay, so for this one, I used the basic black for my my card base. And then I used real red. So I used a lot of real red, black, and green on these cards tonight. Didn't use any ribbon. Courtney, can you believe that? I did not use any ribbon. Again, though, when you have so much stamping that's going on with this bundle, it doesn't give you a lot of space to be able to do a lot of that kind of stamping. All right, and then I have a piece that is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and a piece that's 4 by 3. And again, you can see I stamped some of those trees in the background. Just gives it the perfect winter scene. Garden green is the green that I used on all of these projects tonight. So literally garden green and Memento black are the two that I used. And then I used those different sets of blends as well. Now, this is a class that is currently open for you to sign up for. You will need the bundle, though, to be able to complete it. And I know that I have it out there for you to be able to purchase if you don't own it already. If you do own it, you'll get emailed shortly after the class is sent to you. You get emailed a tutorial with all of the directions and the colors and what to use and things like that. I'm trying really hard to keep up to date with my tutorials. Sometimes I'm about a week behind, but this month I did great. So just so you know, I do my best to keep up on them, but there are some times with my work schedule and life schedule that I don't always get them typed up. To kind of put it in perspective, it takes about 45 minutes to type a tutorial. And after being on a computer all day at work, sometimes it's not the most fun thing I want to do. I want to just come home and keep designing. So anyway, but again, if you ever need the pictures in advance before you get the tutorial, let me know. I can always send you those. A lot of you who do a lot of crafting are able to put my cards together and configure things out in colors and whatever just by seeing the pictures. So anyway, but know that I am trying to do better. All right, so then I have a 1/2 inch strip of basic white. I stamped It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year on that. And I'm just going to cut off the ends on this. Oh, I cut that crooked because mine's a little bit big. So let me just cut these up. All I'm doing, I should kind of be here on camera. All I'm doing is cutting this off. Courtney, that's a good question. I might have one of these in there. I have to pull my bingo prizes. I don't know if I have this one in there or not, but if I do, I will definitely have it in there for next week for you guys. Yes. I'm just not, so I get my bingo prizes all throughout the month on different, orders that I put in and stuff when I have a half off item and whatever. And I just forget sometimes which ones I have. Oops. All right, so I am going to color my wreath with the green. Now I know that I used Old Olive on my sample here. I'm using Granny Apple Green on this one. So again, you can kind of use whatever color green you have in your possession. And then I'm using the Real Red Light to color the cute little bow. So cute. And then use some mini dimensionals to add this to the card. So when I first saw this Christmas bundle, this Christmas barn bundle, I knew that I had to create with it. But I was really like, oh my gosh, they're going to be time and labor intensive for all of you and what. But as I'm making them here with all of you, I'm hoping you're seeing that they really are not that hard and they really go together pretty fast. It's just a lot of different stamping and pieces and putting things together. Again, I would color that barn with the same coloring technique that I showed you earlier on the first card. And then topped it off again with these awesome stars that, well, I call them, stars. I call them, I go between calling them snowflakes and stars because they're called adhesive backed stars, but I view it more like they look like snow falling. So anyway, but there you have it. All of those are on there as well. And there you have the second card. So can you see why that May Joy Fill Your Heart this season is actually like a really tough one to use. It's just kind of big. So I did not use it on any of my cards that I'm showcasing for you guys tonight. Okay, so my next card, I'm not sure if Wendy Drowley is watching tonight, but Wendy Drowley is one of my team members. And she created a swap card that was very, very similar to this one. So I have to give her a little bit of credit here for this card. I may have changed a few things on it, but she, at one of our team meetings, gave us a barn card, and it looked very similar to this, and I loved it. And so I used her inspiration to create a card using the beautiful scalloped contour die, and came up with this version of the card. So for this, I used the real red again. Make that barn pop, you got to use the real red. Isn't this one pretty? And then I cut out that contour, the contour shape, and it fills the card so nicely that I didn't even use any kind of a layer behind it. So on this though, I did stamp again in advance just to save a little bit of time. The trees, the barn, Merry Christmas to you and yours. And that's just going to get adhered down to the top or the front here of my card. I loved it. Like I said, she did a really great job with this. And I'm like, I am using that die for one of my cards for the class. Okay. So there you have it. Now this one I incorporated in the little horse in the sleigh, because that's just perfect to put on here. And that's going to go right up here like that. I colored it in using the same colors. I just did a little bit of coloring. So you can see I colored in crumb cake. I did the light crumb cake for the horse, and then the dark crumb cake for the harness and everything else. Colored the sleigh the same color, added a little bit of the red. Now you could color more of this if you wanted to. I just didn't want to use a ton of blends, because I like people to be able to recreate my cards without having to buy a ton of product. This one, again, I did incorporate the beautiful little wreath. Oh, let me get the center of the wreath out. Colored it the same as I did the last one. Added snowflakes. Voila. Can you see how easy it is to create with this bundle? So when I first saw it, I really thought it would look kind of intimidating, but it's not. It's really, really quite easy. Add a barn, couple trees. You can add the wreath, not add the wreath. Add the horse and sleigh, not add the horse and sleigh. And you've got beautiful, beautiful cards. And this piece I did put on with dimensionals to raise it a little bit, as the same thing I did with the wreath. So again, the wreath you stamp and cut out with the dies. Same with the horse and sleigh. There's dies to cut that out as well. Okay, so that is my third card, I do believe. I'm probably going to get done with my video a little bit early tonight, which is okay, because like I said, we have Claire's birthday tonight, and so when they get home, I want to be able to spend a little bit of time celebrating her. And she actually made her own cupcakes for all of us to enjoy. So Claire makes the most amazing cupcakes from scratch, and then she takes the center out of their chocolate. And I'm not a big chocolate cupcake person, but I love her cupcakes. What she does is she takes the center out of them. She takes like a little, I don't know, like a little spoon or something, and takes a little bit of the center out, makes a homemade, literally a homemade caramel, puts caramel in the middle of them, and a homemade frosting. It is just to die for. So anyway, this card, I was also inspired by one of my team members. So she was watching earlier. So Beth Merkel, if you were still watching, Beth created a card similar to this and posted it for one of our creative challenges that I offer. And again, loved her card and used some of her design and came up with this card for one of my classes as well. So I love it that we can all, that's why we do swap cards, right? And why we share ideas, so we can all learn from each other and create, keep on creating, right? So this one, again, real red. So yes, I went through a ton of real red when we cut for this class. And then you have a piece here that has the barn stamped on it with the Merry Christmas to you. And what my card sketch had was a couple of squares on it. So behind here is the gray. And I'm not sure if Beth used these colors or a different color, but I used gray and black and then put this on here like this. And you see how that just popped it? Just a little bit of color. So I am going to adhere these squares down. These squares I think are 2 by 2. And when you adhere them down, you just kind of want to make sure you have the same amount of space around on both sides or on both edges. So that one's going to go there. And oh, thank you, Pat. I'm glad you like this. Actually, Pat, your class, I think, may have just gone out for you, that you purchased from me. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. Pat, if you're joining a little bit late, I'll have to show you the framed art class that's going to be opening at the very end of my video. I'll bring my framed art back, and I created a framed art just tonight, and I love it so much. I'm going to offer it as a class as well. It's an 8x8 barn scene. So anyway, okay, so then this is just going to get adhered down to the card. Again, you have your stamping there. You have some trees. So I'm just going to kind of lay this out because you guys can kind of see how it all went together. Again, I have my silo. Love it, right? Love it. All the stuff that I'm showing you and laying out, I did use dimensionals for, okay? And then if you really wanted to, you could add another wreath up there. I didn't add wreaths to all of them, but you could. And then you have the horse and carriage again. This one I did add a stamped fence. So you saw that right earlier tonight, I showcased the card with the cutout, the die cutout. Oh, Kathy, you're going to love it. And this one, though, is the stamped version of a fence. Okay, so this is kind of it went right behind here like that, with the tree behind there. You guys can kind of imagine all that, right? And then I added, again, those awesome little stars to it. Isn't that gorgeous? So lots of little options and pieces and parts for putting these together. I do think that you definitely need to have the adhesive back stars. You could also add rhinestones, but what I like about the stars is that they're nice and flat, so that you can just mail them a little bit easier. I know some post offices, including mine, are getting very picky about anything being bulky and raised, that they want to charge you a little bit more. So I find myself gearing more towards the flatter embellishments. So anyway, and welcome, Wendy. I was just talking about you, how I got to show you in case you joined a little late, how I used your card from our card swap for inspiration to create one of my cards for my classes. So, all right. So anyway, so that is that card. Now the final card I'm going to be sharing with you is actually the very first one that I created. And this one, I did not make the barn red. And I got to tell you why. So my barn that I grew up was not red. Our barn was an older barn, and it was just wood. It was just like a wood grain. So I tried to make this one look a little bit more like that. So for this one, since I wasn't using the real red blends, I used cherry cobbler to give it a little bit more of a regal look, a little bit more richer look. And then I used early espresso that I put down here. So this one, if you like layers, is our layer. And then I used crumb cake. And I used the wood embossing folder on this one. I think it's called Timber. And I'm just going to adhere those two layers together. Isn't this gorgeous? I know, I love it. So after this one, though, I had to transition to red barns because, you know, I just was like, yeah, most barns are red. Ours wasn't. Now, I did color this barn a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I did that as well. So if you want more of a weathered looking barn, this would be the way that you'd want to do that. So I have a 4x3, 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, stamped the barn on there. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere these together. And then this I did adhere down to my card with dimensionals to give it a little bit of a raised look. So let me bring in dimensionals here. And I'm just going to put those on the back here. And then again, you can see trees, and lots of trees. But to me, they just make the scene just so much more beautiful. Okay, now what I did on this one is I used the light, this is the light crumb cake, and I just kind of went sporadically in here and added, you can see I'm just making lines. I'm just pulling right down with it. And I'm not even coloring the whole thing. I did the same thing right on top, the barn door, everything, okay? So I did that with the light. So I know you really can't see that the greatest. Oh, and I used the skinnier side. And then I'm gonna come back in here with the dark. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the dark. And you wanna make sure though that you get areas that maybe you didn't get before. So you can kind of tell I was in a hurry last time and missed a bunch up near the top. And I'm just gonna, again, bring this down. I'll bring it closer to the camera when I'm all done here and show you it finished, okay? So you can kind of get an idea. So you can add as much of this as you want, light, dark, anything like that. And then I took my color lifter and I used the big side and I literally just pulled down on all of this, just to kind of blend those colors in a little bit. And the awesome thing that this does, so let me bring this up. Can you kind of tell that that looks pretty, like kind of weathered? It's not all the same pattern. It's not all the same look. It's just a little bit, you know, and this one I may have put more dark in than I did on this one. But there you can kind of see how you get that look, okay? All right, and then with this one, I did add, oh, there's my little, oops, we need that. All right, so then I added my tree here with some dimensionals. Isn't that a neat little tip? So yeah, if you want to just kind of have something look more weathered, and I'll tell you, the more messy you are with it, the better it's going to look. When you're coloring with blends, sometimes don't try to be perfect. Just slop the color on there and voila. Completely serious. That's kind of what I do. You saw how quick and easy I did that. All right, and then I'm going to add in my little trees here. Gotta have the trees. And there's that Merry Christmas to You right in the center again. I'm going to actually put mine down a little bit farther. And for that, I'm going to use my mini dimensionals. Yes, they are. I agree. And that's kind of what we had. Our barn was an older barn that we had. And it's still standing, but it's, you know, we haven't used it in many years. My dad's been gone 14 years and he quit farming and even doing like dairy, or not dairy. We were a dairy farm, but a small one, but he kind of quit even having feeder cattle quite a few years before he passed because he was just not feeling up to par. So, all right, so then you have Merry Christmas to You on here like that. And then I am going to color this little wreath again. Got to have the wreath on this one because I thought it added a little bit of color since the barn was done in the brown. And you could also get creative and do a different color with the bow if you really wanted to. But here we go. So yeah, I knew I had to have this bundle as soon as I saw it. Like, it was just screaming my name. But I was like, oh, do I want to attempt it for a class? And I did, and it's gone over very, very well. And most people, I mean, I don't think that $46.25 is a lot for this bundle. I was pretty impressed with that price because you get a lot of dies and a lot of different things with that. And I just feel that it's a little bit, it's one of the more... I think it's a very good price for it. So anyway, and then we're just going to add a couple of these to it. And voila, you have your last card that I created. Okay, so let me bring all of these cards in again. Now this class is still open for registration. And it's one of my in-person classes. So if any of you are interested in coming that are local to Mount Pleasant, this is a class, one of the class offerings this month that I decided to do for all of my local ladies as well. I'm bringing them all back in. So these are the 5 cards, and then I'm going to bring in my framed art. So this is the framed art that I created literally like a half an hour before my Facebook Live tonight. But I wanted a barn scene, and I love how it turned out. This is a class that I will be offering on December 7th here in my basement for anybody local. Cost is $28. I'll also be offering this as a class kit in the mail. However, you will need to have that bundle in order to make this because you'll have to stamp your own barn, your own trees, cut them out. But we will also provide a tutorial with all of the sizes and things for you to even make more of these. And then I'll also provide you with a link to be able to buy a frame online. I got mine from Michaels online, literally michaels.com. But it's going to be more cost effective, like I mentioned. If you're coming to my house to make it, I will have frames for you. But it's going to be more cost effective for those of you that live long distance, where I'd have to ship the kit out for you to buy your own frame from your own local store. It's just an 8x8 black frame, and they're available in many different stores that you can purchase them from. But anyway, I love how this turned out. It will be a Christmas present for my mom, so I'm hoping she doesn't see it posted on my page. But I know she's going to love it, and I'm going to also post or hang this up in my one of my dining room areas, kind of like a family room, is barn themed, and I'll be putting that up there as well. So anyway, if you're interested in this, the registration link will be posting soon. I'll try to get it open actually tomorrow before I leave for On Stage if I have time. And yes, I hope you all enjoyed my Facebook Live. Now, if you are interested in putting in an order, I didn't print the sheet with my new host code, but it's posted to my website. I'll also post it in the description of my video. If you place a $30 order, you will receive 3 of these cards sent to you in the mail, already completed. So we're able to send completed cards, and I like to do that versus sending you the supplies to make them, because then if you don't have the bundle, you can't put them together. So I actually send 3 completed cards from my presentation to you already done. And another little card that just says thank you for your order, and it'll come directly to you for you to use and all that good stuff. All right, thank you all so very much. I'm so glad that many of you were able to join me a night early this week, so that I can enjoy and support our dance studio tomorrow night at the musical that she choreographed. It's going to feel like Friday though for me tomorrow, because I'm live with you all tonight. I'm a creature of habit. But anyway, I'll make sure that I post pictures and sneak peeks and things like that from our new upcoming catalog and from On Stage for all of you. And again, I just want to thank you all for your support of my Stampin' Up! Business for the last 12 years. And be on the lookout for that great ordering promotion and special that I'll be coming up with and providing for you later this month. All right, bye everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week.